Alright, so, arms race. This arms race, there are, obviously, 3 different weapons. We have the Therm, the Nest, and Marmosa. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I don't have either of these two, so I'm running the Therm. Now, as you saw, this is my build for the Therm. I am running the buggy wheels, which, with 10 of them, I gain 20% reduction to the top speed that my cabin needs, or, wait, speed requirements for perk activation, reduces speed requirements for perk activation for cabins and weapons and whatnot. So I gain an extra 4%, because I'm running 2 of those. I am also running these, strictly for their shape, because their perk is completely irrelevant to the weapons I'm running. It only affects energy weapons, and I'm running kinetic weapons, or direct hit weapons, if you will. Well, technically not direct hit. They're both explosive and direct hit. And thermal. Yeah, blast damage, thermal, and they do direct hit damage as well. But anyways, I digress. Modules, cheetah engine, and invisibility or chameleon MK2, which that's why I'm running these, because I'd have to extend the build in order to fit the chameleon in with any other wheel. So, there's that. The Therms. Their perk is that, well, one, they apply overheating, and apparently they apply faster at higher speeds. They also gain increased fire rate at higher speeds, 50% to fire rate apparently, and 75% to and 75% to accuracy, or minus 75% to spread, whichever you want to call it. But that's at a speed of 61 kilometers an hour. So pretty much any cabin that can get over that speed will work with these. There's plenty of epic cabins that would work as well. Like the Favorite is actually a decent one, because 30% damage resistance. Now, the 2 best cabins are the Cockpit cabin and the Catalina cabin. So the Cockpit cabin gives you 30% to charging speed, reload speed, and rate of fire. But the only one that's relevant for these weapons is rate of fire, because they don't charge or reload. The Catalina cabin, at 7 kilometers an hour, it will give you increased reload to your perks. And at 50 kilometers an hour, you gain 20% bonus fire rate, which is a little less than the Cockpit, but it's still quite decent considering the perk reload. And then at 85, you get the 30% damage resistance, which is quite good. It's pretty much an upgraded Favorite cabin, if you will. So technically that cabin is better, in my opinion, than the Cockpit for these weapons, but they're still pretty decent. They're both pretty decent for these weapons. So, biggest issue I run into with this build is aiming and crashing into stuff. So, this is without moving. As you can see, accuracy is rather abysmal. At this range, it's still hitting, but at that range, a chunk of them are missing. Increased speed, and aside from when I'm turning, everything's hitting pretty much directly. And I'm also firing, like, way faster. So yeah, that is the build for today, and I will see you in the first match. Alright. First match. Ooh, Decent builds. Yep. We got somebody running Anubis. And I'm crashing into everything. That's a great start. Alrighty. If there's somebody. That is also somebody. Oh yeah, I forgot. Don't really have much space to move around over there. There we go. So, I forgot the pilot I'm using, or driver I'm using, is, I'm using Hack-On because that mark over there that I'm firing it in the general direction of, that mark is because somebody is below half health. And when they're below half health, I see that mark on them. And this mark stays on them no matter where they are, unless they heal. Which means I can see somebody even if they're in stealth. So long as they're below half health. This guy is not below half health. As a result, I can only guess at where he is when he's in stealth. I think the Anubis guy just destroyed this guy. Bruh. I completely tripped over my words there. That was great. Or maybe it was the cannon guy. I'm not quite sure. I think the Anubis guy was actually near me. Anyways, next match. Alrighty. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we've got a wedge build with shotguns. Bruh, I'm not hitting all the buttons I need. Oop, somebody going across the bridge. Let's see if we can go help intercept him. I think I got a chunk of teammates over here. Ooh, there's also an opponent over here. Whoops. I accidentally, landed on my friend's budget. Ooh, that guy's also running Therms. Yeah. This isn't going all too well. And another teammate. And my accelerator stopped. Ooh, that's cool. That's fun. Ah, this guy's running the Catalina cabin. And modded and leveled. Therms. Cool. Ooh, this guy's running Reapers. You can go back here? Okay, you definitely can't go back here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Damn. That did not go very well. Wait. I seem to have the same wedge build as my teammate. Oof. Yeah, that did not work very well. So, yeah, that was Therms with Catalina cabin. Granted, his ore modded in level 13, but still. works decently well. Next. Alrighty. Got a couple of walkers. This map's not bad. Fire a few shots down the middle and you can get some early damage usually. I think that guy's got an Astrius. Get those drones off me. Oh, that's a teammate. What's a teammate doing in the enemy spawn? Oops, that's a wall. Oh, he's dead. Yeah, this is the drone guy. See if we can deal with those drones. No. Oh, what's this guy? Stealth. Get the drones off my tail. Yeah, that's not a bad build. Oof. Okay. Well, I don't think my teammates... Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to take care of that. That was still not half bad. Okay, well, he still did alright. So maybe I should have gone after this guy when I first saw him and started firing at him. Alright, well, anyways, next match. Ooh. Nice. Let's see how this goes. Ah, that guy's on our team again. Yep, I learned you can actually shoot those down. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's doable. Yeah, that ain't working. This guy's running Astrius, isn't he? Yep, he's got an Astrius on the front. He's expended his full charge. Oh, he's got saw blades. Okay. He no longer has an Astrius on the front or saws. Okay. See if we can do something about this guy. There we go. Not this time. There's somebody else here in stealth. I think my teammate hit me. And there's the other guy who was in stealth. Ooh. Damn! Maxed out snowfalls. Nope, level 14 snowfalls. Still not bad. That was some heavy damage. Ooh. That's a cool build. That looks quite cool. I wonder if that guy's... Yeah, that guy had to have been on the enemy team. So maybe my teammate didn't hit me. Maybe that was an opponent. Still, not bad. That's fun. This map is going to be a bit bumpy. Ooh. This could be interesting. Got cannons. Snowfalls. I can't remember if I called it a windfall or a snowfall last match. Okay, somebody's in spawn. Or passed through spawn. Ooh. Do they have the anti-melee wheels, as I like to call them? Ooh, I think this is a bot. I said I think because I couldn't read the name in time. I have to be careful around here, else I might get thrown off the map. Let's go deal with this guy. Give my teammates some fire support. Okay, never mind. I guess that works. Both of them fell off the map, though. There's only 3 opponents left. I think I've got teammates in the center dealing with some of them, which is why they aren't capturing. Oof. Have to be careful not to fall off, because I've got my controls based off of camera, which means shit. Which means they're going to move depending on where I'm looking. Oh yeah, I forgot we have tsunamis on our team. That's probably a big reason why the opponents didn't get very far. Nice. Okay, never mind. I took out half the opponents. Nice. That was decent. Next match. Alrighty. Let's see. Alright. Good. Got stuck. We've got this map again. They're in the spawn again. That's probably a bot. Bots tend to rush spawn. That's a player. Yeah. I can't hit him from here. Not reliably. And I'm stuck. That is a interesting build. That's not ideal. Is that guy running Reapers? Oh, that's why. Can't take off his weapon. Okay, that's not an ideal build to be facing down here. Cyclones and Omni Wheels. And Catalina Cabin. Ooh. This also isn't an ideal build to be facing down here, but fortunately it's on my team. Yeah, that would be why. The funny thing is, windfalls are fairly accurate. They're just slow as far as projectile speed. So, the Omni Wheels don't really help with accuracy there, but rather the ability to move quickly while still, being able to turn whilst moving to the side. Strafe. Strafe and shoot. which is quite useful for the windfalls, considering they have a limited angle of projectile fire rate, their firing angle. So, that's gonna be the last match I'll do for this video. That way it's not too extremely long. But, yeah, this is the build I showed you at the beginning, but didn't really talk much about the structural parts. Now, there's obviously better looking builds out there of similar nature, but this one works for what I was needing. And there's probably just one rule of thumb I would say when making a build like this, especially if you're using 4 wheels. Make sure to leave a decent chunk of your mass available or unused, because if you lose a wheel, let's say I lose this wheel, well, I'm still able to drive just fine. Sure, it's going to be a little wobbly, but I'm not overweight or anything. Which means, even though I'm a little wobbly, I can still reach maximum speed and still get the bonuses from my perks. If you put on too much weight, well, you're not going to be able to do that. Example, let's pull this out. There. Now, if I take off this wheel, I'm overweight, and I'm going to be too slow. Well, apparently not too slow. Not for this one. That's good, but sometimes you will be. Depending on what pieces you use. So it's better to use a bunch of small pieces that don't give a ton of durability than a couple large pieces that give a ton of durability but will very quickly make you too heavy. So yeah, that's it. Hope you all enjoyed.